Good evening and welcome back to Parenting in a Pandemic. Last week we heard from two families, one whose entire pregnancy has been in the pandemic, and one who gave birth to their first child just weeks before the U.S. declared COVID-19 a national emergency. It is an understatement to say that the spread of the coronavirus has profoundly impacted these two young families and their experience with and preparing for children. Since we last met, the numbers of those infected by the COVID-19 virus has soared to over 12 million cases globally. In the US, a country still firmly in stage 1, infection rates have hit an all-time high, with some states like Florida reporting more than 15,000 cases in a single day, the most of any US state since the start of the virus outbreak. Across the ocean, countries like Australia and Hong Kong in stage 2 and 3 respectively, both countries are back under partial lockdown this week due to a recent surge in infection rates. The WHO recently warned that the virus is getting out of control and urged citizens around the world to take the virus more seriously in an attempt to control what aspects of the virus can still be contained. Tonight, in the midst of all of this uncertainty, we hear from two different families, both in rural America, and both doing nearly every aspect of life in a pandemic alongside their children. The Mellowspring family on a small family farm in Virginia, and the Hutchison family in a cul-de-sac in the suburbs of Cincinnati. Tonight, we hear their stories.
Hey everyone, my name is Erin Hutchison. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio in the United States, and we are on day 95 of this quarantine. I'm married to Todd, and we have one daughter right here who is 2 years old, and we have a 4-year-old son who is downstairs watching more TV because we do a lot of that right now, so we don't all lose our minds.
We are the Mellowsprings. We live in Virginia. We live on a farm. I am Enzo, the father. She is Amanda, the mom, and he is Enone, the son.
We are in our second week of summer break after school. We missed about 2.5 months of second grade, and we have been sheltering in place in some form for about 3 months now. We are currently in phase 2 in Virginia for reopening. Our governor just announced yesterday that we are stalling at phase 2 for now, as cases have started to increase in other areas throughout the country, particularly in our area of the state. The cases have been increasing as well.
The most difficult part of parenting in a pandemic is being with everyone 24/7. I have zero time to myself. Everybody's been really needy because little people do not understand why school is closed, why there's no gymnastics, why we can't hang out with our friends, why we can't see our teachers, why we don't have our regular appointments and places that we go to, why he can't, it's mostly my 4-year-old, but why he can't come to the grocery store or go run errands with us, why we wear masks, why we wash our hands a lot and talk about sickness. My 4-year-old has been very angry and sad. We've been dealing with a lot of this grief that he can't see his teachers and his friends, and that our routine has suddenly changed. He's had a serious loss of control, and so he's been trying to get control where he can find it. One thing my son has been saying is, I'm feeling better now, Mom. Can I go back to school? And I just keep saying, oh, honey, I know you aren't sick. You haven't been sick, but a lot of people have been sick, and that's why everyone is out of school. No one's in school right now. So it's been really, really hard trying to help a 4-year-old navigate a significant amount of grief. It's been very, very tough. He has very deep emotions. He's a big feeler, and it's been really, really hard for all of us. We've been trying to do a lot of fun things like play outside a lot. We're always outside. We're always in the backyard. We're always riding bikes. One thing I know how to do is artwork. So we've been doing lots of artwork every day. I was calling it Mama's Art Camp and trying to be really upbeat about it. But about 2 weeks in, my 4-year-old was like, no more. We're not doing that. One thing that we've done has been really helpful is on days when I can tell that my 4-year-old is really feeling a loss of control and trying to control everyone and what we do is we get in the car, load up with lots of snacks, we get in the car and we play left, right or straight, and it gives my son tons of options to an opportunity to be in control. Which way do you want to go, left, right, or straight? So we go left. He has taken us into some really weird places in Ohio, and I don't use the GPS until I feel like we need to get back because we're in country and I don't know where we are. And so that's been really helpful for him because he gets to be in control, and he has driven us around for like an hour and a half all over the place. And I think that's been really helpful for us to just have a way to say, yes, what do you want to do?
Having to risk your life to get food for the family.
I would say that we have definitely found it challenging to have less social interaction for, and so all of his social time and fun time is with us, and sometimes we're fun and sometimes I think we're not.
Yeah, sometimes my son here is kind of boring.
Without the structure of the school day and even the way that we're working.
I think he misses school.
Yeah, I think that's probably true, and friends. So without some of the structure of the day, even how we're working is different both on the farm and otherwise. So not having structure has been difficult for us, and not having things to look forward to.
Having to spend the whole day with my son and not having any free time when he is at school. I miss him going to school.
I do.
One unexpected joy of parenting during a pandemic has been our neighbors. In a strange way, while we're deeply missing our close friends and our school, we're also getting to know our neighbors in a new way. We live in a cul-de-sac, like at the end of a street, which is a weird little suburban thing, but we're really getting to know our neighbors because everyone is outside. So we're riding our bikes in the cul-de-sac with the other little boys that live across the cul-de-sac and the grandson who comes to visit our grandma neighbor. We're kind of meeting each other for the first time in a lot of ways and really getting to know each other because everyone is outside. One neighbor told me last week that she had just been diagnosed with breast cancer, so I got to pray with her in the middle of the street. Just kind of strange times we live in right now. It's been a really cool little village of everyone taking care of each other's kids, watching out for cars and trucks, and offering each other water and popsicles and Band-Aids as we need them, sunscreen. So it's been really sweet to finally interact with all of our neighbors and play with them in the cul-de-sac. It's been really helpful for the kids too because they really need some social interaction. Another unexpected joy of parenting during a pandemic is that my husband is working from home right now, which has been tough because he's on calls all day. Meanwhile, my children are screaming. He usually has an hour commute, so we lose about 2 hours of time with him each day. So it's been good to have him home and eat lunch with him. And if the kids are screaming, he can sometimes stop what he's doing and come downstairs to help. So that's been really good to be able to see him more.
Maybe spending more time with my family and my son.
Letting the son cook his own scrambled eggs, which are super delicious. Yeah.
I got some good scrambled eggs.
He does. He's got scrambled goods.
I think spending more time together without as many distractions and places to go has been a time where we've started to find a new rhythm as a family and find joy in more simple things sometimes. We also have been staying very busy on the farm and doing lots of fun things together. Springtime on the farm is always fun, and lots of babies being born and eggs and lots of things to plant, and having the time together as a family to do all of that together has been really fun. Sometimes difficult. We've done a lot of cool stuff in this time. Do you want to share any of those things, and so that we've been able to do?
Harvesting honey, getting bees, planted lavender in the garden.
We've moved roads, dug cellars, built courtyards for our ducks and geese. We've actually been able to change the rhythm of how we do projects around here. So if one day doesn't work so well because of rain or because it's too hot, the next day might be really good.
Finishing The Expanse.
Oh yeah, Finishing The Expanse. That's a great show. Binge watching TV shows.
We've also watched some shows with really important messages, and we've had time as a family to talk about those things as well.
My biggest concern for my kids right now is brain development. I keep wondering, how is living in crisis and isolation, wiring their brains. They should be wiring their brains for community and learning and social interaction and social skills, and instead we're at home talking about sickness and stress and social distancing and hand washing and wearing masks. And so I keep wondering, how is this affecting the brains of little tiny people who need to be wiring it for completely other things, social skills and all these sorts of things. So I really worry about that.
His loneliness, his boredom.
Not having his friends around him unless it's like his best friends or something.
Not having as many play dates.
Yeah.
Not going to the park or going swimming, which has been a mainstay.
He misses all those things.
He sure does.
So much.
He does. All of those things, as well as what kids learn from social interaction and the exchange of sharing and interacting with one another and the development that comes from that. Since we live kind of out in the country, we don't have a neighborhood road where the kids can run out and play together, and we don't have family with kids in his age group either, so his interaction has really been limited to a lot of adult interaction. We definitely have a cool life, but it comes with a lot of adult responsibilities sometimes.
But this one is a real mustache.
And we're lucky because we have a lot of nature, and we're able to do a lot of outdoor time, which I'm really grateful for. And I think that has made a huge difference for our family, but not a lot of other activities.
I am hoping that our post-pandemic world, we will be more attuned to one another's needs. We wear masks to be mindful that other people might easily get sick, that we can be asymptomatic. And wouldn't it be wonderful if we carried around this compassion and concern for others post-pandemic? Although a lot of adults in our area are not wearing masks. When you go to the grocery store or Target, people are not wearing masks, except us and a very few amount of people. Wouldn't it be great if something that our kids learned was they watched us care for others by wearing masks? They take note that we are doing things to help instead of hurt, and we're doing all that we can because we don't know everybody and their story.
I'm the son. So all that stuff that he was talking about, he's the father, and all the stuff that he was talking about is about me.
So what would you like for all this to be like after the coronavirus, bud?
Being able to swim and having play dates after the coronavirus a little bit. Being able to swim with friends and
trying to keep this rhythm somewhat, to be able to work on projects together on the farm, being able to come together as a family to get some of these projects done in our minds so that we can put it to work out there in the field. And also I think really going to the beach, putting our feet in the sand.
I think that there have been some really important positive things in how we've spent time together that I would like for us to be able to maintain. At the same time, I want for Enzo to have more purposeful social time with friends, to be able to do the things that he really loves and feels accomplished in, like swim team and soccer, spending time with friends and showing other people the farm that we have here. Those are the main things that I think are on our mind. We are appreciating how our school system is handling both the end of last year as well as the plans for next year. So we're interested to see how that.
It is one thing to navigate a pandemic with children. It is another thing to navigate a pandemic with children in rural America, with children who are eagerly by your side, seeking not only attention, but answers. Answers to why the world changed so drastically for them, and how they get back to the way things used to be. Parenting in a pandemic is not for the faint of heart. As parents are now being forced to consider equally uncomfortable school options for the fall, we are reminded that no life is worth risking, and no life is worth losing. May the Mellowsprings and the Hutchison stories be the reminder so many of us need to prioritize the safety and welfare of school educators, of parents, and children as this coming school year is planned. One thing we've learned over the last 4 weeks is that the story continues. Join us next week as we talk with a single mom raising 2 Black teenage boys in this pandemic in the heart of New York City. For now, stay safe, stay well, and good night.